the news station. This is Newswatch 16 at 5.
Powerful, stunning storms blast through our area overnight. There is damage all across northeastern and central Pennsylvania,
including 2 tornadoes that touched down. The damage is our top story on Newswatch 16 at 5. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm John Meyer.
And I'm Julie Sidoni. The damage from that line of overnight storms is vast. It stretches all across our area.
The National Weather Service has confirmed 2 tornadoes. One hit in Benton in Columbia County. The other was in Union County. We start with Newswatch 16's Chase Senior near Lewisburg.
Downed trees, smashed cars, and ripped up barns. That was the extent of the damage Newswatch 16 saw in the Lewisburg area today. According to the National Weather Service, a tornado touched down just after 12:30 a.m. around Buffalo Township, which is just outside the Lewisburg borough.
I don't know what was going on. All you heard was just this big, loud sound. We thought that lightning had struck. It wasn't until I got the boys and we got to the bottom of the stairs that I saw the branches in the ceiling.
Not something you expect to see inside your home, but that became a reality for the Snyder family. This massive pine tree came crashing onto their home that they just moved into and renovated earlier this year.
When she went up to actually get the kids, and you hear just this loud bang, like my ears were ringing 2 hours later loud. I was trying to scream for her, like, are you okay? But like, it's literally felt like your throat closed up and you just I couldn't speak.
And luckily, Patricia, Devin, and their 4 kids weren't hurt. Just down the road, Corey Stacks describes his wild morning.
Okay, we realize what's going on. It's a tornado, something crazy. The whole house is shaking. We hear hail and we're talking, oh, we hope our cars are okay, with the hail. Little do we know a whole tree fell on it. Luckily, everyone's okay. I mean, a car is replaceable, somebody isn't.
And we spoke with one man who owns a tree cutting service in the area. He tells Newswatch 16 he started getting calls at 6 in the morning, expects to work until it's dark out, and that work will continue all week long.
Today's been a little hectic. A lot of people don't like, when they see, high winds coming, but to me, as soon as I see high winds coming, I know it's going to be a busy day working.
And that was Newswatch 16's Chase Senior reporting from Union County.
And Chief Meteorologist Kurt Aaron joins us in the backyard now.
Yeah, we're just getting these numbers in here on the latest one from Columbia County. First of all, though, when we say EF1, what are we talking about? That's the enhanced Fujita scale. That's what we use now. Several years ago, it used to be just called an F1. Well, they've adjusted those wind speeds. So an EF1 now is 86 to 110 miles an hour. And both of the storms that we're going to talk about, the one in Union County and in Columbia County, were EF1, so 86 to 110 miles an hour. EF1, that's Benton, Columbia County. It started to the southwest where you see that tornado icon, and it moved northeast into the town of Benton. It was down for about 2.5 miles, and it was estimated to have formed between 1 and 1:08 in the morning, so very early in the morning. It started near the intersection of Roy Road and Distillery Hill Road and continued into the town of Benton. About a dozen homes and businesses were impacted by that tornado that moved through the Benton area. Now for us, no more tornadoes, but the winds are still strong. And they are gusting right now 20, 30, even 40 miles an hour. The good news is this evening we will see those wind speeds begin to lighten up once we get beyond 7, 8 o'clock. Temperatures going down now from the 40s into the 30s. It's hard to believe, guys, that high today officially will go in the record books as 70 degrees. You stand outside right now, feels a little bit more like winter.
Yeah, It really does.
Yes.
It's crazy. Thank you, Kurt.
Yep.
And Benton wasn't the only area of Columbia County hit hard.
Newswatch 16's Carmela Mataloni joins us live from Millville. Carmela.
Good evening, John and Julie. Yes, people and businesses here in Millville are still without power in some places. Here at the community park, though, you can see there's a lot of damage, including uprooted trees, downed power lines. And this isn't here just in the park. This is all over Millville. Now, a lot of homes and businesses lost their roofs early this morning, including the elementary school. Hauling away trees and branches, this group of Millville School District students decided to lend a hand after high winds made a big mess outside and on top of their school.
It's terrible what happened to this place. It's been my home ever since my brother was born, and I wanted to keep it safe as long as I could. So we're moving branches and everything that we can do to help this place.
Strong wind ripped off part of the roof at the elementary school. A technology director for the district says there is also a lot of damage inside.
The whole top is off of the cafeteria, and water's coming through into the cafeteria to the floor, so we're sucking up the water. And
the school wasn't the only heavily damaged area. The community park and neighborhoods were also hit. The wind was so bad that it took the roof from this building, and all of the pieces flew across the street and landed in the trees in the front yard. Nancy Clock works in the building that lost its roof.
The lightning I saw last night was lightning like I never saw before. It just was like continuous, but the weather has been different.
That's a mess. Terrible. I don't wish it on anybody.
Now, officials have not confirmed if it was a tornado or just strong winds that caused all this damage here in Millville, but where the National Weather Service did say there was an EF1 tornado was in Benton, and we will have more from Benton later on tonight on Newswatch 16 at 6. Carmela Mataloni, Newswatch 16, reporting live in Columbia County.
Just incredible seeing all that damage. Carmela, we'll see you at 6. Thanks. The severe storms blew right through WNEP's location in Lackawanna County this morning. Video from one of our security cameras shows the rain whipping here in Moosic a little before 2 a.m. The wind was so strong it ripped off part of the roof on an awning leading into our station. Folks have been cleaning up damage in other parts of Lackawanna County today, too. And Newswatch 16's Allie Gallo is live now in Dunmore. Allie.
Good evening, John and Julie. There was no tornado warning issued for Dunmore overnight, but there was a severe thunderstorm warning. And people who live here in this part of Lackawanna County say those whipping winds woke them up. But it wasn't until this morning in daylight that they really noticed the damage to their homes and properties.
It looks like a tornado. I'm not an expert on that, but it looks like a tornado.
I think it's a tornado, mini tornado. I don't know, though.
The National Weather Service plans to make a stop here in Dunmore, where the overnight storm caused quite a bit of damage that wasn't clearly understood until daylight.
Oh, it's worse than it looked last night at 3 in the morning. I can't believe this.
Here on this block of 5th Street and Butler Street in Dunmore, the roof to a hair salon is no longer attached to its building. Trees are on houses, and a chimney sits in the middle of a backyard. Jerry Longo owns both of these buildings and has tenants that are now displaced.
Clearing everything out and looking for a place to stay. We're trying to help them out.
Car windows are shattered here in this section of Dunmore, so are glass doors to homes, making it hard to sleep through the storm.
And my daughter woke me up, screaming, "Dad!" And I went upstairs, and the water was just pouring in my kitchen because the whole window was gone.
Now that the storm has passed, winds are picking up, so Dunmore officials are concerned the threat isn't over just yet.
Luckily, nobody was injured, and right now we're just following the path of the storm and checking out the damage and trying to get people and any danger out of their homes.
The American Red Cross is offering help to anyone displaced, and the mayor called in all Dunmore first responders.
The borough's on top of this and just asking people to be safe and report any wind damage, and we'll be right there to check it out.
And officials with the National Weather Service office out of Binghamton are expected to be here in Dunmore tomorrow to assess the damage to determine whether it came from straight line winds or a tornado. Allie Gallo, Newswatch 16, reporting live in Lackawanna County.
All right, thank you, Allie. Staying in Lackawanna County, residents in Scranton also cleaning up today. Newswatch 16's Andy Palumbo shows us the damage in the Electric City.
The wind hit in the dead of night, right around 2 a.m. This neighborhood, Harrison Avenue in Scranton, not far from the Dunmore line, devastated by the early morning storm.
We heard a huge bang and a lot of ruckus, and we just jumped out of bed and said, we got to get in the basement.
Karen Lotz lives on Harrison Avenue and says the storm was just that intense. It sounded like a tornado. She and her family had to take cover. After the sun came up, you could see what happened. Ann Field's home and backyard took a big hit. Her fence, only 3 years old, ripped apart. Part of her neighbor's tree is taking a dip in her pool.
What are you going to do now?
I don't know. What are you going to do? It's ruined. Tear it down, start it over. Hopefully still maybe have a pool. I don't know.
Thiel is far from alone in this. The neighborhood Myrtle Street United Methodist Church has broken windows, plus damage to the steeple, and the roof is missing some shingles. Many in the Scranton neighborhood were asleep as the storm moved in. Zach Senchak was not. He heard it coming.
Bunch of gusts, huge gusts of wind. The house started to shake, and then everything just coming off the house. It ripped off the chimney, threw a bunch of siding. The whole backyard, the fences, everything's down over there. Just crazy wind, really.
Plus, there is damage on the inside. Missing shingles allowed rainwater to get inside. Take a look at this neighborhood. This is the 900 block of Harrison Avenue in Scranton. There is debris everywhere. Bits of siding, roof shingles, glass, you name it, and it's on the ground. And some of this stuff might have come from homes blocks away from here. A tree landed on Bruce Fulweiler's home on Prescott Avenue.
All I heard was a crash. Looked in the window and I saw those, you can see out my bedroom window up there. And then after that, came down and I said, geez, we can't get out.
The downed tree blocked his front door. Adding insult to injury, it isn't even his tree.
Part of it is now, I guess. I'm burdened with it.
Fulweiler is thankful it isn't worse. He and 4 family members were home, no one hurt. His job now is to call his insurance company and find someone to cut up the tree. Andy Palumbo, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
Susquehanna and Wayne counties also hit hard by the winds and heavy rains.
Newswatch 16's Jim Hamill is live tonight in Hartford Township with some of the damage from the storm there. Jim.
Yeah, John and Julie, I'm at Mountain View Area School District right now. There is quite a bit of damage outside of the buildings here, including these trees behind me. You could see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so toppled right in a row, uprooted, and then at the athletic fields, all the equipment just blown clear across those fields. Now, the National Weather Service has been in the area today assessing the damage. They've called it complex and significant, but no confirmation so far of any tornado here in the area. However, a similar story over in Wayne County, where those severe storms caused quite a bit of damage, closing roads and even wrecking property.
PennDOT crews were already at work tackling this section of Route 191, sheared off by flash floods overnight near Honesdale.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe the amount of destruction that happened. It's crazy.
Kevin Dunn owns a health center. The place suffered some water damage, but the businesses inside still were up and running.
We're just kind of trying to work around things, trying to dry things up. We got a little bit of water in the building, so we're working to try to clear things out a little bit.
There's no working around things up the road. This popular shortcut has been knocked out. Schumann Road in Cherry Ridge Township washed away by the overnight heavy rains.
It sounded like a river, and I was just like, it must be in the creek or whatever, and didn't think really anything of it at first. And then, and then I saw the road or whatever, and I was like, wow, it's like right down the road.
Even more roads were closed, depending where the storm toppled trees onto wires, including here near Waymart.
We woke up this morning not thinking anything was wrong and woke up to this. It was quite the shock and surprise to see.
Bob Barna and his family now have their own troubles thanks to the powerful storm. This barn, its walls and roof blown apart and on the verge of collapse.
This building's been here 40 years and sustained a lot of high winds and never had a bit of damage before last night.
Like others who survived the storm, Barna and his family did what they had to in order to stay safe.
We went down to the basement as soon as we heard what we didn't know what we heard, but it wasn't good. It sounded like a freight train.
Now, Barna says he's not sure if insurance will cover all the damage to his farm there in Wayne County. But as for here at Mountain View Area School District, school leaders have reached out to their insurance company to get the ball rolling there. Classes went on as usual today. Elementary school students spent time in the high school because power was out of the elementary school up until about 10 o'clock today. Now, we do have a story coming up on Newswatch 16 at 6 about a family farm decimated by this storm, but it's pretty miraculous to see how one of those children's favorite animals ended up making it out alive. Jim Hamill, Newswatch 16, reporting live here from Susquehanna County this evening.
And we'll see you with that story at 6. All right, Jim, thank you.